Ey'ndaweni abafethu sisey'ndaweni no-Petla ngiblomile la eParliament sishaye around niyazi Sunday siblomele sishayela into zethu gawulanyana boma-lunch ngiphethe usestero futhi uSharol. Kunjani?
Kunjani?
Sharp ukrele.
Stop.
Hey, ngagcina last week isiphethe ezinye iy'ndaba ey'shisayo.
Hot topics.
Abantu bayazithanda the way sibona ngakhona.
Masichubeke ngendaba zethu.
Ya, sicala ezinye namhlanje, sicala ezinye zelinye iviki. Bekwenzakalani le viki? Ngibone uBheki Cele, hey. Controversial, eh?
Bheki Cele went on a tangent during the week. Bheki Cele wakhuluma ukuthi yena ANC card this and that.
Le ntwana leyana engamla beyimkhuza nje ibika ama-points ukuthi amaphoyisa wasipani 1 2 3 yena njalo sebazobala lento yejele.
And he was telling the truth, that guy. He was saying that, yes, we acknowledge what you have done in the past.
Siyabonga.
What are you doing now? What are you doing to make sure that South Africa is a better country, a safer country? As hand, we're not disagreeing with the fact that he went there and he did something back in the day.
Siyabonga.
We appreciate. What are you doing? But also it's because that's all they have to them right now. That's all they can
they can't
look back on. Yes, they can't point out that this is what we've done. Exactly.
Umzali alahle umntwana bese umntwana ubuye empilweni like umzali amlande umntwana every time lo mzali makakhuza umntwana uthi wangilahla njalo Bheki Cele wangilahla wena njalo umntwana ANC hayi
no ANC needs to do better
2024
she's gonna show them flames
umhlaba
we need to vote
ayikho lento Jesus until Jesus comes ayikho.
We need to vote, we need to go out there, we need to fight for what we want.
As a belief.
Change comes when we make a stand.
Indaba ama-happy bubbly. Indaba ama-hookah pipe. Mina kancane. Or pemani khona line yokuvota mfethu. Abala zangibathi no smoking kuvote.
You can smoke in public?
In fact, ngaya uphethe izolo la, ufike ubeke la.
Hayi angazi izolo mara.
Babhalile ukuthi no zolo allowed. I-IC ike yasho ukuthi
no smoking allowed. No.
Uyawudaka uyovote.
Go in whatever condition you're in, go and make a difference.
Siyenze kahle kahle fanele i-trend indaba yokuvota. I-trend I think fanele bayenze mhlambe la kuvotela khona kube ne-artist nyana no music bazoya abantu. I just tell them
we do.
Nefebe stripanyana la uthi
they're going to distract you uzovotela the incorrect part ngoba manje inqondo yakho ididekile you wanna be strip no guys
kanyiwe sometimes that's why kushona abantwana nasenyokeni last
actually that one's a tragedy
senyokeni or enyobeni
enyobeni yes
bani ungadive endaweni enyobeni ayizabuya abantwana shemangazi mina ngibona ngathi babulawe yini le generator
generator.
Currently, igesi yambili.
Yeah.
And then i-generator mabayifaka. Azange bayibeke outside the house, outside the building. Bayibeke khona inside da. And mase ba-check-a bodokotela bathi angazi carbon dioxide yara mayiphuma erumini eliwani. Ama-symptoms the way bafe ngakhona iyela kugenerator. When basa-investigate.
So the question is, bebayenzani 13, 14, 15-year-olds in a tavern? What were they doing at a tavern at late at night? Who must we hold accountable for this tragedy?
Abazali. Mina ngiblame abazali nabo labantwana abashonile. Ulala kanjani ukwazi ukuthi umntana akakho endlini ona 13?
You know, but Kuluma a few days ago about this tragedy, and we're saying that the family dynamics have changed. Parents are going to work, parents are working overtime. There's no one to supervise the kids. The kids are with their grandparents. How do we then expect grandparents to discipline abantwana bana 12, 13 when we all know ukuthi
ulala ngo-8 umntana uyahlala Emmanuel masekabhorekile aphume
isadlala Emmanuel
hayi Emmanuel webhora bangavezi yonke into uhlele ebusuku 1 uyawazela ngabuvukela mara abazali right abazali abekho bazama ukwenza inyuku for bona labantwana the next thing uneglecta kunephathi ongasayenzi
esimzali
ushiya umntwana nogogo dala phila ukhathele
ugogo doesn't have the energy to be reprimanding abantwana. Children don't listen. Children have rights. You can't tell me anything. I've got rights. So what do you do in that situation?
No.
There's nothing that you can do really as a grandparent.
Yo, lo intombazana ngicabanga uthanda ibhola. Preko yazo ebolweni. Preko ebolweni.
Kanti umuntu
wazi abathi Israelis akekho for 9 months. Preko lapha. Banyana you couldn't call her up.
But like ibhola has nothing to do with upreka. Abantwana they go.
I know this. Abapreka. Uwe wazi wena wathi Thembi Khatlana akekho this week. 9 months akekho ayikho prep lapha so kunzima Joe kunzima cabanga umntwana sekabuya na 15 athi pregnant uzoyenzani
Sure, what can you do as a parent?
uzoyenzani Joe sekumele nalentwana yakhona emprekisini ayisebenzi sekufanele wena manje lentwana ishiye umntana wesiphongo manje uyakhala hey umzukulu
We need to get to a point where before people get pregnant, let's educate our children. Yes, they have choices, but let's do what we can as abazali to try and educate our children to a point where they can make an informed decision.
Ukuthi noma alenzile so akukhona ukusho ukuthi mara ekhaya
Bangkhuza. But even then, the responsibility will always be the parents. When on 15, your parents are going to want you to be a leskolweni. They're going to be responsible for that child. Again, now they are feeding you, they're feeding your child.
Kanti sikuphi la kunakudlula inkomo kanti sikuphi la itodlula inkomo kanti sikuphi la
Look at that.
mhlambe bawalobola somewhere yo inkomo yeah but you're right kumele umntana vele umfake endleleni uzama ukukhuluma naye yeah noma preg emara cabanga umntana sekafake ihembe lesikolo ngapho uphuma ibisi emara abantwana bethu
I think in 2021 they spoke about there were more than 20,000 pregnancies throughout South Africa for teenagers. Yeah. And they're not doing it safely. And another thing is, it's not school children. It's school children. It's grown-ups and kids. You know, because they're in situations where they want to get out of that life of poverty. They go date older men, and here they are. They fall pregnant.
Intanga zakhe zinamateka China yena kanawo indaba imali kahle mara nalabo baba basile uxoxana nomntana ona 15 like I don't get it I mean at some point phela manje sex fanele ulinde ukuthi mawumdala futhi awuvela fast yabo fanele ulinde ukuthi ngixoxa ngani walimele ukuthi
uqanga bayaxoxa. It's not about conversation, it's about having sex.
ngapha lo mntana ufake iphenti nya akunandla
namadolphin
Petla le kempe. So indaba yenyu.
It's a power dynamic. It's a power dynamic. What must you do when you must do it? You can't go anywhere. So it's a power dynamic. It's just about people being pedophiles, people taking advantage of kids that are in situations as in Zima. You know? Umzala bamshaya nge 30 years.
Umzala the way a talented ngakhona ne bengise taxing last year. Kali sex me baby kunomunye mabhoko la ngapha bathi vulela mkhwenyana uthi lo bhoko uyazi ngomithini
Umzala talented. We can't take that away from him. He's talented, but his talent comes from his experiences. What he's been doing with young kids.
So now mamamele makathi awana right.
Exactly. It's talking about a 15, 16-year-old. So people have tried to separate the man from the musician. You can't. It's one and the same person.
Yeah, but manje umzala abanye abantu bakhala bathi 30 years ngathi is too harsh. Ngoba kunabanye abantu abathi bayenze close to the same thing ayithunayo rape and whatnot. Abatholanga the same year.
But how many children did he molest? How many children did he rape? It's a lot of children. The damage that he's done to those children.
Sanama case, more
cases. It's about really him taking responsibility for what he's done. It's not just one child.
Yeah.
It's not two.
And then ehlungile ka Sparkle lengoma le 2 years ago what apparently maba yenza lengoma uSparkle weza ne
younger sister yakhe
lo niece nyala bahlala lo niece kanti umzala sekathatha
benza ma 2 years ago
lapha shapu ajola umzala no niece iphuma indaba abazali bayithole bavaye bavule umzala icase umzala ahafa abazali uSparkle athi ningayithathi imali kamzala shuthi nibhayisa ikuku yomntwana
uyabona i-power dynamic
emari yadura-ke le kuthi yomntana 100,000 ya umzala ukhiphe 100,000 manje uSparkle akakhulumisana nabazali ukuthi nina nithengise ngomntwana
leyo kuku is priceless. It's not about 100,000. It's about the damage yomntwana
unekolodo
R. Kelly took advantage of those kids
ngakshisa urape wami umntwana lo yangifuna shona ijiji abe na 50 ijiji.
But encourage your child to love who they love. Woman, male, let them love whoever, and you must be supportive of that relationship.
Yeah, vela kunankinga vele if umuntu uzikhethela ukuthi ufuna ukulala nabafana awumfana asinkinga ngidabula ngamcela ukuthi yabona futhi usomizi yakho iplane kahle usomizi umchazela wahamba wayenza umntwana kule process yokwenza umntwana wabona ukuthi no man ikuka ngiyithanda ikuku sometimes ayikho for 3 days
Usomizi athi yena he wasn't sure whether he was gay or not, just figuring himself out.
Oh, mara ngabu 90s, 1993. Ubani bekazifigure out. Besiyazi figure out.
Yeah, he didn't figure it out, but he was figuring himself out.
Mara mina anginankinga nokuthi uNdalo if he think he's gay. Ngicela ungenzele umzukulu there. Then continue nabafana bakho nidlala nibambana anginankinga.
uNdalo kufanele aphilele wena, akenzele wena
Mara ngimenzela ukuthi angenzele umntwana igama la kaPetla liqhubeke.
Yes, abantwana Petla, go have other kids.
Zadura lezi zinto. Expensive. Yo, mawungabona ubaby mama type. Yo.
That's why thina singabantwana Petla. Typing. WhatsApp open it's typing.
Okay, ma offline. Offline yo. I think it's good to try. Offline. Okay. Mara usomizi inkinga manje lo mfana lo amshadile. Bathi ufuna 50%.
Hey.
Yabona umfana inkinga.
Hayi umfana nomfana. Every marriage inkinga once fika ku divorce it's a problem.
Mara uyadaba lo mfana uze nani?
It's not about that Petla. Masithandana ngithi na drunkek kumnandi.
Mara I don't think okay angazi ngawe. Mina ngazi ngaba ku relationship ngathi ngafika kule point ukuthi baby yazi le TV yethu ithengwe yimi angazi ngafika kule nto. No
what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine.
Baby le moto kahle ne. Mina ngithandela wena. Ayifiki lapho.
Kwamele ngafiki lapho. You guys let's just decide or no. Baby, we're marrying out of community of property without a crow. Baby, we're marrying in community of property.
But abantu bathi sensitive issue ngoba ukhumbule kumazoshada. Kuba nenkinga yana zoorganize umshado, amalobolo nani. And then you bring up ukuthi what's mine is mine.
Relationships about having the difficult conversations. Relationships about saying, okay, me and you, let's say you and I are professionals. I'm an attorney, you're a doctor. You have your own practice, I have my own practice. We run the risk of being sued.
At some
point in time, one of us makes a mistake, or even if we don't make a mistake, will they sue us?
Yeah.
If we're married in community of property, both our estates are at risk.
Serious?
Both the estates are at risk.
If lo plako silvala nento yami. Engiyakho ngekho.
So it's better to say, okay, out of community of property without accrual, if you are professional people. Nje, if you are someone who is working hard for yourself, protect your assets. It's about protecting your assets if something were to happen to your partners. At least then you have something to fall back on.
So in the section, how you conversation leyo uyibeka kanjani? You can't just uwele kuyo fanele indlela yokuza nalo.
I need to stand out somewhere in the process yokushada ngithi. This is what ungenzeka ukuthi as we are running this road, as we are walking this road together, we come across problems, you know. In order to safeguard indlu yethu, imali zethu, bengicanga ukuthi yabona kanjalo ngithi
usomiza udaba umtito alomfana azange khuluma letha
usomiza uthi shamina shawe manje usomiza ukhuluma he can't have my 50%. Of course he can if you didn't sign a prenup. Of course he can.
It's a, well maybe like lo muntu mina I feel usebenzele lo muntu wena ungenaphi into enzakho usebenzele.
The law says I'm entitled to it whether when usebenzile wena wenzeni
alomfana usile
akasanga
usomiza ufunani lomfana yini ayifuna
usomiza ngithi he knows he worked hard. Why don't you protect your assets? Angithi he's older, he's wiser. Usomiza umhalo umntwana
mara umntwana mina ngibona ngathi usengani. He made money ajola no Somizi. Ngenxa kaSomizi because lo mshado wabangazi ukuthi ba broadcast angazi bathole uma meter or 3 million.
Yes.
So mina nguye ngizothi amara at least now amasentana ithi ngeke lekhehla.
But you don't understand what he was subjected to in that relationship. Mhlambe uSomizi bekayenza lezi zinto zakhona zise-feasting. We're not sure. Maybe he was abused in that relationship. Maybe now this is his turn to say, okay, I'm going to get what I can out of this marriage. We don't know. All we know is that if they didn't sign a prenup, if they didn't marry out of community of property, he's probably entitled to something.
Yeah, I kunzima emhlabeni. Last bengibuza lo nyawuthi ingitshela ukuthi ayispani uspani mail. And then noma ithola ispani inokuthola amatofotoho imeli iyo ehafindlu imeli yamnakekela ngithi ndoda hayi mina ngengivukele. If kunjalo direct ukuthi mhlombe nomuntu ohola ukudlula wena.
It's not that is a problem for most men, but I also think that a confident man would not be intimidated by how much a woman earns. A confident man who knows what he brings to a relationship.
Yeah, confident, mara kwamanye amalanga phela inokuthatha dive nyana kube nelanga la ubona khona ukuthi enhle ngiyabhayizisela. Cabanga Sharol uhola 30,000 for example mina ngihola 9. Mara makuphila inyanga wena uthi imali yakho babibeke phezulu kwefridge sapesha.
It's about no better. It's you as a man. It's not about what you bring in. in terms of finances. Yes, finances are important, né? But what about supporting your wife? What about giving her love, nurturing her? What about the small things, you know, in addition to the money?
Yeah, I think you're right, because if you're plate, you concentrate on which awucabangi lezo ukuthi you know, I think umphathe kahle.
If unpacking and we're bringing in 39,000 together, then you're able to say with your 9,000, okay, let's buy groceries, pay the lights, we can do something else with my money. If unpacking and you treat me like the queen that I am, then you won't have a problem.
Masilo, abafazi bathanda ukubalana ukuthi yo uyabona umfazi ukunakekelayo mawumtolele athi wena uthola ngani ngoba uthola ngani wena. Mina lengasebenzi for 6 months. Ayona sesiyasipana. Fair yabona sekuqala ukubhayiziseka maybe ngelast 2 months akhona. So unokungishela imali yotwala weekend yakwaphi una 3 clip ongazithengela ijini. Ngathola umsebenzi. Ukhumbula phela umsebenzi ngihlala ngisendlini ngizoyapha akunamali ngisho. Ngathola umsebenzi. Ayi weekend sengihlala ngene. Athi kimi uchentshile ngaqala uchentshanga. Sekunemali benganamali hayi ukuthi bekuplan abafazi uzodlulisa imall yonke Sharol ningene emaladies ningene lokho uyakulandela la emuva wona ngoba unganamali so manje nginemali makafuna semall ngihlala samonya ziphuzela asho nginemali
lesasona imali uyakontrola isikhathi sakho futhi wenza ngaso
ukuthi sidlule uyimpi ngilambile athi sizobuya la yalandela la emuva mangifika lapha and then nalapho sisibasethilini bayabheka yazi
bayakhipha ikhathi
How low baba?
I need to know umfazi you give your man the card before we get
to it.
They don't check those.
Ooh baba. Ubona wena ukonzela ngeplastic anachele
I know the money thing is a big issue for men, Shame. I think it's tough, guys.
And on the other side, on the other hand, noma indoda kuyo enemali kakhulu. Sometimes inokuphatha kabi umfana.
Zokupressa. Indoda izokupressa, indoda izokutshela ukuthi okay, you can't do this, you can't be friends with this person, you can't go here. The money dynamic is a dangerous thing because with a man, he wants to possess you, he wants to control you. With a woman, she becomes disrespectful.
Yeah.
So it's about balancing the two, finding a partner who understands you.
Uzumntwana athi baba umthe uzongithengela imoto mama khona athi ngani akana or loyo nebhayisikila
uthini loyo orengo
ana likaki Rivver nayo
and then the kids disrespect the parents because you said
alamali baba kuza ubhuti Steve uthola nomama ubhuti Steve unenyuku kuza ngekareni yabona ingozi ezithalela ubhuti Steve
thengi McDonald's pizza
wena
uzane no working Wednesday with cheese
wena ukuthengela ikota ethi mara I think it's the love mawumbonisa ukuthi uyamthanda naye lo mama khona if ugrand wemqondweni la uzobona ukuthi mara yawuthama bakhona labo sister abanye ukuthi mina angifuna omunye umuntu la uthi yabhayiseka mara for me
Ungiphethe kahle uthanda abantwana bami
now wahlala 12 years nomuntu 12 years
but at least we didn't have kids, thank God.
Ngabe dala wamthuka yo
I wouldn't have been but even when he wasn't working, so it wasn't ever about the money. Like I said, it's about doing the other things, the small little things, making sure I'm supported, taken care of, considered. If you do all those things, money doesn't become a factor in the relationship.
Sure. So la yokucircumcise uyibona njani? Around this week la ekhasi ugcwele amandebele left right and center. I know it's culture and angidegrade, but I don't understand how we celebrate ukuthi umuntu uyokhatha ujwabu wakhe. I mean ujwabu wakho lona wena ukhathile wena ukhathi wayimele kwenziwe iphathi. I mean for your own health fanele sikwenzele iphathi.
I think the cultural ukhulumile it's not about just the mere cutting, it's about what it represents, you going into manhood.
Disrespectful kanjani?
Yeah, that's manhood yabo. That's what they've taught them in the mountains.
So ngadelela.
Delela mntanami. Uyindoda.
So ngathenga ibhiya phambi komama wakho ngoba ngendaba yentaba una 15 years.
That's what it is. That's what manhood is measured by in some of our cultures. I mean, the fact that you've gone to be circumcised. But I think the biggest issue I have with it is hygiene. How safe is it? How clean are the instruments? Is there someone there who's able to see to the kids if they have an infection?
I know Eastern Cape. Labo baba bakhathayo. Abanye banokudaba ilanga lokukhatha. Kufu kwayo. I'm not joking. Cufu kwa wonke like utakiwe lo rise na skero sucha angazi Kufu kwa wonke so awusena nkawo but
those things aren't monitored. There aren't any regulations. If they are, they're not being observed. So it's a risk to the kids if they're in a place where the people aren't sanitary, the people aren't clean.
Ngapho
Kuyabanda, healing.
Ama-COVID, ngapho omunye umntwana une-HIV.
It's things like that that you don't test.
I think fanele maybe bahlale phansi mhlambe kube nabonesi abayayo la or abodokta bayotshela ba-check ukuthi yonke into right yabona.
But I heard in the news that I think the deaths have decreased this year in Eastern Cape.
Amandebele awafi yazi. Amandebele kaningi awafi. I know
Kufa bobani?
Amaxhosa.
Dead.
Yo.
Babulala yini?
Inyokeni. But it's hard. Cabanga ungena entabeni with the aim ukuthi uzobuya ugrand to improve your life. So we are sena why.
Castrated. The whole point of going there was to become a man, and now your manhood has been taken.
Ungadelela mara kusala ekugcineni awunagwayi.
Uchamuhleli phansi.
Jo mawuthulwa nathi hayi.
Sakazela wena.
Ibhlungu asijuke yazana. Ibhlungu letele. Asijuke. Afana nani mina ngichaza ubamba ichair etshwaleni le ufike I hate it tight ngenhliziyo yami yonke I hate it tight.
Zupna is a girl's best friend.
Ugobi tight uyapi la bekhona izolo ama-chair bewathwega yabo so I'm like yo uyathwega lo muntu baphakama irock ngabona i-tight
I-shaper does just that. It gives us a nice shape. Lapha sithina abanye siyabantu siyaphila.
Sharol mina ngakubamba sabambana endlini sabambana ngathi tight
okay. You don't know our tricks. We're going somewhere. Go to the bathroom, take it off.
Man, you are a bag. Oh, man, I'm so long.
You come in soup, but it's something else.
I want to tight.
It's them that want to make money. Akona ama sexy on the rocks.
Serious? On a rock is sexy.
It's lazy and
I mean,
we are under pressure to look good. We're under pressure to look a certain way. So that's what the tupnas do. That's what the shapers do. Makeup non-stop.
You guys go through a lot. Plomana nenyawo chamba tumangu angeke ngisho igama layo la chair sashaya isilala ne saphuza salala kwayo saphapha ngo6 ekseni ivuke ngo4 ngobani yayoziphasa akazi mina ukuthi ugezelini lo muntu mara uyambona ufaka ama-track pants like akagezanga mara ebusweni.
We're under pressure to look good, but you measure us by what we look like. You measure whether or not I'm a quality person by the first appearance. So the minute ngifika mina uSharol just with lipstick, ngifika mina with my bald head, you're like, I know, I'm not going to entertain this girl. Ngifika mina ngibhejeje, ngana shaper. Already you've judged me. So that's why women go to all this trouble of putting on a face. Literally, makeup is a face. It's a face that society wants to accept. That is what makeup is. Because when it's time to be like, our natural beauty, our sisi, our mitlali.
Ucabanga mara if wena njengoba natural so ngelanga shada ngibona umuntu ne beyangekho muhle kakhulu mara ngelanga shada ngalo umbona ukuthi lo namhlanje muhle ngifuna leyo nto mina hayi ukuthi njalo ufaka i-makeup njalo nangelanga shada ngayo.
No, we're under a lot of pressure to look good, shame.
Awucabanga ukuthi into yabazali intombazana mayisakhula ayidingi mhlawumbe umzala lokho ayi-inspire ukuthi no umuhle uso umuhle yabona.
Parents can do all the work in the world, tell your child how beautiful they are. Society undoes all of that. Society takes away a woman's confidence. Society makes you feel like you are less than because you don't look a certain way. You have to fight for your position in life. Tinabanye, we have to fight. You step into a room, they don't take you seriously because when you're banned, then you're not wearing makeup.
Serious?
The minute you open your mouth and you speak, that's when people start to speak. So that's the problem with society. We don't accept people for who they are. We are required to change for them to take us seriously.
I was tired. lo muntu akagezi.
See, that's another. Bengimthandela for yena who he is.
Akagezi.
Hayi man, bekageza.
Bakashela akagezi.
Bakashela bekasifuna.
Unkomo wena. Fuck I got her now.
He does. It's just that bekageza in the afternoon. He goes and works.
In relation my car. Have discussion. This is what I expect from.
Okay, yeah, but at least that's one.
Imagine how cool my expectations.
Hygiene is important to me. Look, trim your beard, cut your hair, brush your teeth. Mom, now. Lotion. Please, lotion.
I ain't got to say the paraffin in my
come on, man. Uyamcheka kuqala ukuthi this boy. I'm a